Welcome to our deep dive into autonomous maintenance, or Jishu Hozen. It's easy to think about maintenance as this chore we got to do to keep things running, but what if I told you it's way more than that? What if I told you that by embracing maintenance, really getting into it, we can actually unlock a whole new level of productivity and make our equipment last way longer? That's what Jishu Hozen is all about. It's about empowering operators, the folks on the front lines, to take charge of simple maintenance tasks. Today, we're going to break down the 7 steps of Jishu Hozen. And trust me, this isn't just some theoretical mumbo-jumbo. We're talking practical, hands-on stuff that can make a real difference in how your equipment performs. We'll get our hands dirty, figuratively speaking of course, and explore each step in detail. By the end of this video, you'll have a solid understanding of how to implement autonomous maintenance in your own workspace. So grab your tool belt, put on your thinking cap, and let's get started. All right, let's kick things off with step 1, initial cleaning. Now, I know what you're thinking. Adam, cleaning, that's like the most basic thing ever. And you're right, it is. But that's also why it's so important. It's the foundation upon which everything else is built. Think of it like this. You wouldn't start building a house on a foundation full of cracks and wobbly bits, right? Same goes for our equipment. We've got to start with a clean slate. Initial cleaning isn't just about making things look pretty, it's about getting up close and personal with our machines. We're talking wiping down every surface, getting into all the nooks and crannies, and as we clean, we're not just cleaning, we're looking, we're feeling, we're becoming one with the machine. We start to notice things we wouldn't have before. A loose bolt here, a weird sound there, a slight misalignment. These are all clues, my friends, clues that tell us something might be a little off, and by catching these issues early on, we can prevent them from turning into big, nasty problems down the road. Remember, a clean machine is a happy machine, and a happy machine is a productive machine. So let's roll up our sleeves and give our equipment the spa treatment it deserves. So we've scrubbed our machine squeaky clean. Now what? Well, now it's time for step 2, countermeasures for contamination. We've got to keep them clean, right? Think of it like this. You wouldn't mop your floor and then immediately track mud all over it, would you? No way. You'd put down a doormat, maybe take your shoes off. The same principle applies here. We need to figure out how dirt, dust, grime, all that nasty stuff is getting into our equipment in the first place. Is it coming from the environment? Is it a byproduct of the work itself? Once we know where it's coming from, we can start to implement solutions. Maybe it's as simple as installing some curtains to contain dust, or maybe we need to redesign a process to reduce splatter. It could involve adding filters, shields, or even just making sure everyone's on the same page about keeping things tidy. The key here is prevention. By taking proactive steps to minimize contamination, we are reducing wear and tear, extending the life of our equipment, and preventing those annoying, unexpected breakdowns. Remember, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So let's get proactive and keep our machines running smoothly. All right, we're 2 steps in, feeling good. Now it's time to establish some standards. This is step 3, and it's all about creating a system. A set of guidelines that everyone can follow. Think of it like a recipe. We wouldn't just throw ingredients together randomly and hope for the best, right? We follow a recipe to make sure our dishes turn out consistently delicious. The same goes for maintaining our equipment. We need clear, concise instructions for cleaning, lubrication, and inspection. What needs to be cleaned and how often? Which lubricants should be used and where? What are the critical points to inspect and what should we be looking for? This is where things get really interesting. We're not just guessing anymore. We're creating a system based on best practices and, most importantly, the knowledge of the people who actually operate the equipment. These standards ensure that everyone is on the same page and that maintenance tasks are performed consistently, regardless of who's doing them. This not only improves the quality of maintenance, but also makes it easier to train new operators and track progress over time. Remember, consistency is key. By establishing clear standards, we're setting ourselves up for success. We've cleaned, we've prevented contamination, and we've got our standards in place. Now it's time to move on to step 4, general inspection. This is where we really start to empower our operators. We're not just talking about looking for dirt and grime anymore. We're talking about training our operators to become detectives, to really understand their machines inside and out. This involves teaching them the basics of how the equipment works, what the common failure points are, and how to identify potential problems early on. We're talking about listening for unusual noises, feeling for vibrations, and looking for any signs of wear and tear. The goal is to move beyond simple checklists and empower operators to use their judgment, their intuition, their knowledge of the machine to identify potential issues. This might involve providing them with additional tools like temperature guns, vibration sensors, or even just a simple flashlight. The key is to give them the resources they need to be successful. Remember, knowledge is power. By empowering our operators with the knowledge and skills they need to perform effective inspections, we're turning them into proactive problem solvers. We're getting into the meat of Jishu Hozen now. Step 5 is where the rubber meets the road: autonomous inspections. This is where operators take the reins, using those standards we established and the knowledge they've gained to conduct their own inspections. This isn't about micromanaging, it's about empowering. It's about trusting operators to take ownership of the equipment they rely on every day. They're the ones who know their machines best, who can spot those subtle changes that might go unnoticed by someone else. We're talking about empowering operators to take notes, to snap pictures, to document their findings, and most importantly, to communicate those findings effectively. This might mean creating a simple logbook, using a digital app, or even just having a quick chat with the maintenance team. The key here is to create a culture of open communication, where operators feel comfortable raising concerns and suggesting improvements. Remember, 2 heads are better than 1. By encouraging operators to take ownership of inspections, we're tapping into a valuable source of knowledge and expertise. We're on the home stretch. Step 6 is all about taking everything we've learned and turning it into a well-oiled machine. Pun intended. This is where we focus on standardization. We've got our cleaning routines, our contamination countermeasures, our inspection standards, but now we need to weave it all together. Think of it like a symphony orchestra. Each instrument plays its own part, but it's the conductor who brings it all together into a harmonious whole. This might involve creating standardized work instructions, visual aids, or checklists to ensure that everyone is following the same procedures. It could also involve implementing a system for tracking maintenance activities, identifying areas for improvement, and sharing best practices across the organization. The goal is to create a unified approach to autonomous maintenance, one that is consistent, efficient, and scalable. Remember, a rising tide lifts all boats. By standardizing our approach, we're ensuring that everyone benefits from the power of Jishu Hozen. This is it, the final step. Step 7, full implementation. This is where we take the leap and fully embrace the Jishu Hozen philosophy. We're not just going through the motions anymore, we're living and breathing autonomous maintenance. It's become an integral part of our culture, our DNA. Operators are empowered, they're engaged, they're taking pride in their work and in the equipment they operate. Maintenance is no longer seen as a chore, but as a shared responsibility, a source of continuous improvement. This is where we start to see the real magic happen. Equipment reliability goes up, downtime plummets, and productivity soars. But it's more than that. It's about creating a workplace where people feel valued, where their contributions are recognized, and where they have the power to make a real difference. Remember, Jishu Hozen is more than just a set of tools and techniques. It's a mindset, a way of thinking about maintenance as an opportunity for growth, innovation, and collaboration. So there you have it, the 7 steps of Jishu Hozen. It's about empowering operators, building a culture of maintenance, and unlocking the true potential of your equipment. Thank you for watching. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Don't forget to hit the bell icon for notifications. And remember, the power to improve your workplace is in your hands. Embrace the Jishu Hozen philosophy and watch your productivity soar.